South Africa has just lit a match and thrown it onto the powder keg of its immigration system. A new law has been signed, sealed, and delivered, and it is already sending a violent tremor through the shadows where millions have lived for years. This is not a gentle adjustment. This is being called the most aggressive crackdown in a generation. Imagine the power shifting overnight. The government now holds a much sharper blade. They can chase, they can detain, and they can prosecute with the clarity they never had before. The loopholes that lawyers once drove trucks through have been welded shut. For the undocumented migrant, the person whose permit expired last month, or the family waiting in limbo for an answer, the ground has just collapsed beneath their feet. The law now draws a hard, unforgiving line in the sand. If you are here without the right paper, the system is now designed to find you faster, process you quicker, and put you before a magistrate before the sun sets. It sounds clinical, but on the ground, it feels like a raid happening in slow motion. And the fear is not just contained to those hiding in the margins. The net is wider than anyone expected. They are coming for the employers who pay cash under the table. They are knocking on the doors of landlords who asked no questions. If you facilitated the stay of someone without status, you are now in the crosshairs. The message is brutal and simple. If you enable it, you pay for it. Walk through the neighborhoods of Johannesburg or the streets of Cape Town right now, and you can feel the paranoia hanging in the air like smoke. People who have built lives here for a decade are suddenly looking over their shoulders. Mothers who crossed borders years ago are now whispering about what to pack if the knock comes at 4 a.m. The government stands on a platform and insists this is about order, not hatred. They point to the open door, the legal channels that exist. They argue that if you want to stay, you must follow the line. They say this is about protecting jobs that belong, by right, to citizens who are also struggling. But on the other side of the street, there is rage and there is pain. Groups that have been screaming about the strain on resources for years now feel vindicated. They see this law as a long overdue lock on the gate. Yet, human rights advocates are already sounding the alarm, warning that a system moving this fast will inevitably trample someone innocent. The reality is that migration here is as old as the hills. People move because they must. They move for air, for bread, for a future. But now, that movement is met with a steel trap. The balance between human desperation and state control has never felt so fragile. For businesses, the panic is real. A contractor cannot hire a crew without scanning documents. A landlord cannot rent a room without playing immigration officer. Even the people who think they are legal are waking up in cold sweats, terrified that a tiny error in their paperwork will label them a target. Officials promise professionalism. They promise humanity. But when a law this sharp is unsheathed, the promise of mercy often gets lost in. Please like, subscribe, and comment your thought.